Don't do that. Fucking.
Oh, here it is.
There it is. Guess who's back? Pint of Comics with you. Oh man, we have got an awesome show tonight, or we don't. Either way, we have now. If you've been checking us out, you know that we've been going through the Friday the 13th series. I was thinking about it today. So we've done these episodes. They've averaged about 2 hours each. We've done 6 so far. We have talked about these fucking movies for 12 hours. Yeah, so
12 hours. These entries are all longer than the movies themselves.
Yes, none of these movies have made it past the hour and 32-minute mark, maybe. Which good. That's a good thing for us. Who's in here today? Holly. Hey, didn't invite you, Lloyd. You invite you all the time. Yeah.
Come on, Lloyd.
Chris,
Lloyd could have used you last week to defend part 6 with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lloyd, if you want to jump in, I'll send you the invite. You could jump in. This is make it a foursome, a fearsome foursome. So yeah, if you've been hanging out with us, we appreciate you guys coming back. We're gonna have a good time talking about this one. Before we get into it, of course, I want to point out who's with me per usual at the bottom of the screen. The man, the myth, the legend, Scary Larry Dwyer. Larry, what's going on, man?
Am I a legend though?
Yeah, I mean, a Connecticut legend for sure. Okay, all right.
Maybe like down here, like in the basement.
Yeah, in that basement.
Yeah, I'm a legend in here. You know, my AOL screen name used to be Legend in the Pit.
Legend of the what?
Legend in the Pit.
In the Pit. Okay.
Because fucking Mosh,
Hold on. I just got the okay to invite Lloyd in, so Lloyd's going to come.
Oh shit!
Oh,
special guest star.
Special guest star.
The guy that should have been in all along. My co-host here.
Yeah.
Pint of Comics. Who's been fit.
Lloyd's gonna come in and be like, I didn't even watch this movie. I was just lonely.
All right. The invite is sent out. Manster is on his way in. And all right. So Larry, that's not Cranberry Sauce Dwyer. Larry, while we're introducing you real quick, and it's at the beginning, we got some people in here. Patrick's here. What's going on? Do you want to? I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to tell everybody what the movie this week is going to be, or you're not sure yet?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, all right. So you heard it here. We're not sure yet.
Usually, I pick it on Wednesdays and set up the event and all that. But today I was preparing for this, so I'll probably do it tomorrow. It's probably I'm torn between Boss Baby and Chronicles of Narnia. So we'll see. We'll see what wins out.
Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Hey.
There he is, the Manster. All right, so now
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're okay. You're a little echoey, but you're all right. You're all right. I hear you. All right, so let's go real quick and let's show you. If you want to check out Larry, first of all, go to www.horrornewsnetwork.net. That's where you can find all of his great horror writings. And then if you want to go a step further and go to ConnecticutCultClassics.com. Now, obviously, not much going on right now. We're gonna get there. But you can go to look up all Larry's podcast appearances, including Pint of Comics. You can check out all of Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. As a matter of fact, this last week, I will tell you right now, The Stuff is out right now. The episode we did on The Stuff is out, and Larry's on the podcast again this week. Lloyd, Larry, and myself did our top 5 80s albums, and that will be out probably Friday. So and I'm editing it. It's a fun one. At one point, Larry disparages me for one of my choices, and it feels good. It feels good.
Did I call you a potato head?
You didn't call it no, because the potato head of the crew is our friend out there in the pit, SWO Productions, Mr. Stu.
The other kind of pit.
Yeah, the other kind of pit.
Not the mosh pit.
The 2T pit. You might know Stu from his insane theories of who's pregnant in these movies, right down to his like, I don't understand enjoying of the latter half of these movies, seemingly more than the early ones, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
and of course,
it's the X-Men. It's great.
Yeah, this is as Larry called it, Jason versus Jean Grey.
Yeah,
it's this
we
one.
finally get Kane Hodder.
We do get Kane Hodder.
We do get Kane Hodder. And of course, right below me here is he's first time 7 episodes in, the Manster, the co-host of Pint of Comics, coming in after declaring he hates these movies, and apparently he's jumping in on this one.
I hate this one the worst.
You hate this one the worst?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I hate it to pieces.
Holly's birthday Friday, so make it good. Happy birthday, Holly. And so that's awesome. This is all good stuff. We're in December. I know, we all know that COVID ain't ending just because it's 2020, but 2020 is ending because it's 2020 ending. So that's a plus. You know what I mean? Because even if you discount COVID, I think 2020 has kind of been a rotten year all around for a lot of us. So
it took Pat Patterson on its way out. I was really upset about that today.
Yep. I saw that. Pat Patterson died today, 79 years old. If you're not sure who he is, he's old school WWF. I'm not going to say E.
WWF.
Yeah, right. The Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
That's right.
They not only got rid of the F, they got rid of another W years before that.
That's right.
And Pat Patterson was from that wonderful time in wrestling where you didn't need a nickname. You could just be Pat Patterson or Bruno Sammartino.
You also didn't need a physique of any kind. I could have been heavyweight champion of the WWF.
Yeah, Pat Patterson was built kind of like the Boss Baby. You're right. He was kind of just a lump of a dude, but you know what? Good for him. Good for him.
They were all lumpy. They all had a lot of chest hair.
Yeah.
He was the inventor of the Royal Rumble.
Was he really?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what Patrick says here. Patrick always has some good stuff. New Blood and Dream Warriors are the front of the wave of the superhero horror crossover trend that led to stuff like The Crow and Blade. All right. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Dream Warriors did have kind of that whole aspect to it. Well, here's something interesting. So let's get into the movie a little bit now that we're going to start talking about the movie. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, because we always have to throw something in there, right? It can't be. There's Eve. It can't just be. It's got to be the final chapter, the new beginning. Jason, now we're at the New Blood. May 13th, 1988, this came out. This one was made for, again, you're going to say diminishing returns, but it was made for $2.8 million. It only made $19.1 million. Now, granted, that's a win for this movie in terms of it made money, but by the time 3 and 4 were coming out, these movies were making much more.
Yeah.
So this is the point where we're starting to see, kind of the diminishing returns. Now, that being said, the initial idea, I was reading this the other day, for this was very much what Patrick just said, was at this point, Jason was on his way down, popularity-wise and money-wise. And Freddy was on his way up because this is around the time of Dream Warriors, Dream Master, all that stuff. So Paramount Pictures made an offer to New Line Cinema, who owned the rights to Freddy Krueger, that they wanted to do a crossover at that point. So essentially, they wanted this to be Jason versus Freddy. They thought that it would be a good way to boost the popularity of everything, bring Jason back to the forefront. Paramount was going to handle the domestic releasing, and New Line was going to do international, and the deal fell through. So we got what we got. That's what it is. The director of this one, and I thought I'd say his name right until I watched one of the documentaries on the brand new DVDs, the Blu-rays. John Carl, what I would pronounce as Buechler.
Not at all.
But what is Bickler?
Bickler.
Bickler. So Buechler, which I would either figure is Buechler, or something, is Bickler. It's one of those words that doesn't really look the way it's supposed to look. But that's all right. So he was a effects artist. He worked on stuff such as Troll, Ghoulies 3. And I guess one of his bigger ones in terms of, I'm sure this is probably big with people like Larry and maybe Holly. It sounds like it would be a big horror movie that I just don't know. Cellar Dweller. Is this a big one?
Not great.
Okay.
No, he was more known for Ghoulies, From Beyond, Dream Master. He did the effects on Dream Master. Hatchet. He did the effects on Hatchet. Halloween 4. He's done tons and tons of shit. The dude was amazing, and also a great person, one you'd see at conventions and just a swell guy to talk to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd never met the guy. He passed away early last year. Which is sad. But I did watch the making of this movie on, like I said, the Blu-ray for the new series, the set they came out with. Seemed like a super cool guy, and was in good spirits, but obviously this movie was not the vision that he had. And you know, he kind of brings that up. So yeah, and Holly does bring it up. He is why Kane was cast. They worked together previously. He thought that Kane Hodder had the perfect like physique, and you know, he's a stuntman. He would be great. And they wanted to bring back the guy we talked about from the last episode,
CJ Graham.
CJ Graham, and he was willing to do it. And they were like, you know, well, hey, look, you know, you were great. Go back to dinner theater. Go back to, you know, that thing, and we're going to bring Kane Hodder in. So this is the first of, am I correct saying 4, I believe, right? 4 movies that Kane Hodder did. He did this. He did Manhattan. He did Hell, and he did Jason X, right?
X, no, I wasn't sure if he was in X or not, but I knew he was in the next 3.
That was it.
Okay.
X, and then he got the Shaft.
Yeah. So, Manster, before we go any further, I do want to just verify, so this isn't just you freestyling. Did you watch this or no?
I did watch it.
You did watch it.
Watching it, which is why my request for the invite was a little late.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, you know, again, you being the co-host of the show, you want to do the rest of these, you just let me know.
Yeah.
And I'll throw you the invite, because the next one, I don't know if you know, Lloyd, we're going to Manhattan on the next one.
Well, I've never seen any of these, as you know. It's
only for like 5
my
minutes.
Favorite franchise.
Just for like 5 minutes, we're going to Manhattan.
Just 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's
he's on a boat a lot.
Yeah, he is on a boat quite a bit. And if I remember correctly, there's like a heavy metal chick, right, playing guitar.
Oh, so bad. So bad. Yeah.
So we are 7 into this. All right. So we're 7 into this. This was written by a guy named Daryl Hanley. And I only remark on the writer of this because he's not well known. He was a novelist, but he also wrote some screenplays. But what he is probably best known for, or not best known for, what I wanted to bring up was if you're a fan of the Saturday Night Watch Parties, you remember Extro.
Oh, God.
This guy, the guy who wrote this movie, wrote Extro 3. The unwatch, yes,
Why
Extro.
were there more than one of that? Why were there more Extros? That's terrible. Who asked for that?
Extro 3, Watch the Skies, which, you know, in most circles is the classic one. You know what I mean? Like,
I think Vinegar Syndrome just put that out like last year.
Yeah,
they did a press of Extro 3. I
think I actually when me and Lloyd went to the archive while they were briefly open for a little while, maybe a month ago.
Yep.
I was looking at their like new release wall, and I definitely saw an Extro sequel. I didn't know if it was 3 or what.
Extro 3.
Was it?
Yes. Extro was very much a one-and-done movie.
No way. Extro's fucking genius.
Actually, Extro could have been a 0 and done. we didn't need the first Extra
before I'd watch this movie again.
There you
really?
Wow.
Absolutely.
Big feelings.
This is going to get ugly. I think this is going to get ugly.
I think we're going to have some. I'm feeling that there's going to be some strong opinions on this one. I'll be honest. After watching this last night, I was relieved. At the very least, I'm not playing my cards out, but I was relieved that at the very least, whether it's worse or better, that it wasn't 6 again.
I like 6 way better.
I know 6 is so good. You two are so wrong.
I'm gonna just tell you right now, without going score wise, that if I was put into like a tiger trap or something, if I was in Buffalo Bill's well, right, and he said that the only way he can get out is I'm gonna put a couple of VHS tapes in a bucket and I'm gonna put them down to you, and you gotta watch one over and over again. I'm picking this one over 6 any fucking day of the week.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Everybody's giving me shit. Yeah, 6 was great. Oh, 6
was great. 6 was great. Holly knows.
6 was the worst of what we've watched so far. But hey, that's all right.
He had a fucking tool belt. He had
a utility belt.
He did.
He was Bat Jason.
Joe thinks 6 was awesome. I'm getting beaten up on this. That's okay.
A lot of people like 6. They're all wrong, but a lot of people like 6.
So Larry, let me ask you again before we get into everything.
Yeah.
If you had to sit there and pick one, would you pick 6 or 7? 7. Yeah, wow. Me too. Totally.
Really?
Totally. Yeah. So Daryl Hanley, he comes up with the idea, and this is why they hire him. He says, "Look, you got this final girl in every one of these movies, right? We have the same thing happening in every one of these movies. Jason kills all the kids that are surrounding her. You get one girl left over. How can we make this different?" Daryl Hanley raises his hand and says, "I know. Make her a fucking telekinetic with clairvoyant powers." And the studio goes, Fuck yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Genius.
They take out their wad of $1,000 bills and start making it rain all over Daryl. And then Daryl goes to his writer's loft and starts fucking penning the New Blood. And that's what we get. So
Carrie.
it's
I think
this
the
is what we
premise
get.
is that, and in 6, they made Jason so powerful all of a sudden. Like, he's undead. He's bullets are bouncing off of him, except for the shotgun shells, and he's punching through people. I think at some point they were like, all right, now how does he have a challenge? Right. We need to, how is he not just going to run through everybody? So they were like, all right, friggin' X-Men. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what did they call it? It was Carrie. That's what they kind of wanted, like
Jason versus Carrie. Yeah,
like a ripoff of Carrie, kind of.
Carrie.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, Buechler didn't even want to do it. He's like, "Why are you even bothering with this? Like, what are you guys doing?" And then when they said that they were going to go a different way with it, that's when he agreed. He's like, "Okay, if we're going to do something different, then I'll sign on." Which is funny, like, because special effects resume aside, his directing resume doesn't sound like one where he'd be the guy in the room being like, "Fuck you guys, you got to listen to what I say." All he'd really done was Trolls.
Right.
That was really, really it, and a few other ones that aren't really to be speak of. But so they decided to go with somebody that could fight back for once, somebody that stood a chance against zombie Jason.
Yeah.
Patrick will tell you it's Mummy Jason. He gets very upset if we call him Zombie Jason.
Right. He does.
For the rest of this episode, we could call him Mummy Jason. I don't mind.
All right, Mummy Jason it is. Manster, do you want to jump in and kind of give us like the general idea of what's happening? Now we know that it's the same shit that's happening in every one of these, but what are kind of like the what sticks out in this one? What makes this one a little bit different? What's going on in this one?
Well, this one you got the young girl with her family. She basically ends up going away in a boat, getting a little pissed off at her dad and killing him with her amazing telekinesis, and then just feeling guilty for it for the rest of her life. And now she's in lots of therapy. And you got a creepy ass doctor.
Well, he's dead. Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah. He's
yeah.
And I don't know what his ultimate goal is other than to capitalize on her power, I guess.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was like Burke from Aliens, where he was trying to test her out and then bring her back and like put her in the weapons division, because he keeps on.
I think he was just doing it to write a paper on her and become famous. Like
he essentially just wanted to be her manager and get all the fame and all the money for just being associated with her. He just wanted to turn her into a world's fanciest pet or something.
Yeah, that feels about right.
Yeah.
He seemed like a live-in person with the mother, and that was weird.
Well, I didn't think that. I thought that I think that they go back to, so in the beginning of the movie, like you said, let's get it right. Let's get this right too.
Yeah.
The father fucking whacks the mom around.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
You hear him.
He's an alcoholic. He beats his wife.
Yeah. You hear him teeing off on you fucking say something else to me, bitch. Pop. And then, Tina runs out, gets on her fucking boat, and she's, Daddy. And then, she fucking destroys him with the Force and immediately feels bad.
She turns the boat into, it's like a fun house. It's like,
whoa. So yet again, Lindsay's watching this like half-heartedly with me. And she says, and it made me laugh. She goes, "This guy has no survival instinct," because literally the thing is moving. He could just run back to the house.
Around.
No, he's like, "I'm gonna let this happen. Fuck it." Like, I don't like you or your mother anyway.
Where this goes. Yeah. It seems like it could go a bad direction, but maybe it'll turn around.
Yeah.
It's Charlize Theron running straight away from the Frisbee spaceship in Prometheus.
So we need to say where this took place was on Crystal Lake.
Yes.
We're back at Crystal Lake. It looks nothing like Crystal Lake, but whatever. We don't have to talk about that. But so it's Crystal Lake. They don't know who Jason is, which is weird in Crystal Lake. And then we fast forward 10 years. You realize that, right?
Yes.
So, but didn't we fast forward like 10 years?
There's been so much fast forwarding in these movies. I have no idea what is happening.
I think Jason 7 takes place in like 2042.
Oh, no,
Like,
no,
Yeah,
I think
we're way into the future at this point.
I think
They've
the
gone, like-
prologue. I think the
Okay.
prologue might take place concurrently with, say, like 3, right? So this is like 10
Okay.
years prior, or maybe even 1. Maybe this is like I don't know,
said-
2.
They said Jason had been in the water for 10 years.
Oh,
This
did they
is-
say that?
Oh,
Yeah, this is 10 years after part 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, everything
Yeah, no,
I've seen with Beekler and all the fucking and Frank Mancuso, they said this is 10 years. You can see the deterioration in Jason.
His
Yeah, you just see his spine the whole
his
time.
spine.
It's great.
his
Yeah.
spine's chilling out, just like
Yeah.
out there. Like, what the fuck's up,
and-
guys?
Yeah.
Before we even go further, we do need to mention the monologue at the beginning.
The voiceover was dope. I liked the voiceover.
You know who that was?
No.
That was Crazy Ralph from part 1 and 2.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
That's
and
fitting.
it's the last thing he did before he died. That was the last thing he did.
I actually liked the voiceover a lot. I thought they added that flavor that they did from the earlier movies, where every movie starts with like either the last 5 minutes of the previous one, or you get a little bit. This one, they took everything and kind of gave you this whole mishmash of a bunch of the movies. We got to see Wheelchair Guy get it, knocked down the stairs again. I'm in for that all year long.
all day.
Right?
Yep.
I'm in that for all day. And you kind of, I like the vibe of it. And I also liked the opening, especially compared to the fucking James Bond thing in the last one, is when we get like the mask and the light coming through it,
Yes.
and then it kind of cracks and everything. And I also wanted to bring this up, that this movie was the first, I don't know what we have going after this, but this was not Henry Manfredini. This was Fred Molan. This is a new composer, and I'll be honest, I paid attention to that after I read that, and you could tell they don't use a lot of the themes or anything.
They use some of Manfredini's stuff. That's why he still got a credit. But anything new was that new guy, and you could tell it's way fucking different.
I don't know
Way
if this
different.
is the new guy's job or not, but I know this is the one that really went overboard on the.
Oh, it did a lot.
Yeah, it had a lot of those in this one, because I remember watching the previous.
It had 84 people to kill as well. So.
Yeah.
I remember watching the previous 6 movies and thinking, like, boy, those are more subtle and less used than I thought they were. And then I watched this one again. I was like, here they are. They're all here. This is why I remember them.
Yeah.
Holly brings up a good point. Her biggest issue is they left the dad's dead by, because he wasn't like 800 feet down. He wasn't the Marianas Trench.
It's a fucking lake.
It's like it's 20 feet. Someone could have dove for dad.
And when he came out, he looked like he had died yesterday.
We'll get to that.
We will get to that.
Yeah, because I have theories on that.
Well, there's not just theories, but there's also what the director wanted to do and different things. So we will get to that. But that was a meat, because I hadn't seen this movie in years. When he pops up, I'm like, oh, good, this is going to be a zombie fight. Motherfucker looks better than I do. Yeah. And he's been in the water for 10 years. He looks so refreshed. Okay, so we're here. We're at Crystal Lake, and now we have this telekinetic girl. She's also a clairvoyant to some extent, because she keeps on seeing things happening. So she's got a multitude. She's a full-on X-Men, right? Yeah. Stu, you're the comic book guy here. Give her an X-Men name. Come up with something, and we'll get back to it. Okay? I want you to assign her something. The actress also has one of the most Park Lincoln. Park Lincoln. It's a weird name. It's kind of an odd name. But before we get too far into like the rest of the characters, we've already talked about the doctor and about the mother and everything. So I want to bring up something first right off the bat. Let's discuss Mom's hair.
Yes.
Do we have to go there?
She has the best 80s hair ever.
She has
that's not even 80s hair. I don't even know what that was.
She has what my wife described.
So large.
My wife described it as she has 4 different haircuts at once. And it's pretty true. It's pretty true. She's got like kind of like a feathered guy's hair, and then kind of a womanly, like long in the back, flat on the top, and then a mullet at the same time. Feathers for days.
And it's very rigid.
Person in charge of wigs.
Was
Whoever
that
that person is probably never worked again.
Was that a wig? That you mean somebody actually?
Yeah.
I don't. Either way, it's a
Right
fucking
there in the credit,
disaster.
wigs.
Yeah.
Whether somebody made it or somebody did that to real hair, it's a fucking disaster. No matter which way you go with it. And I was, I had girlfriends in the 80s. You guys did too. Nobody had hair looked like. I mean, I had girlfriends with big hair. Totally, of course I did, but nothing like that. Like I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was the way Lindsay said it was the best. It's like 4 different haircuts.
Yeah, and Holly's right again. Tina's hair is hurting too.
Tina's hair is just straw.
She had like she had like the longish hair, but then the bangs were kind of stark. Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, she needs to use conditioner.
That's the main girl, Lloyd.
Oh, the main girl, Tina. Yeah, I don't know names.
Well, and then if you want to get into like, let's talk about like the girl that's supposed to be the hot girl, Melissa. She's got like that weird blonde, like Dorothy Hamill look. Yeah. Like, yes, there was a fucking hair disaster in this movie.
There was, because even
her haircuts are when her dad beat her up. Even Maddie had fucked up hair. The one who was like the nerd. She looked like a 13-year-old. Yeah.
Like her hair was all.
Stand her.
Oh yeah, she was in Fort
Fairlane. Was Maddie the one who decided to start smoking pot with the stoner guy, or was Maddie Velma?
Maddie was the one who did the makeover.
Yeah, Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, she did. Maddie.
Ass.
Yeah, she was like 4'2".
Yeah,
like maybe 14 years old.
Master, you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you have you're a little echoey. Do you have a different plugin?
I'll try and find something else.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, so Joe had a Canadian girlfriend in the 80s. She was in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And I would like to point something out, because as I did with part 6, I'm watching this one as we're recording here. Okay. And I've just gotten to the point in the movie where MacGruber appears. Yes. And that really startled me the first time.
Wait a minute. Did I say that to you or no?
No.
To me.
I said it's so obvious. He looks just like him.
I said that to Larry last night. I said, who is the camper guy dressed exactly like, and or who based their look on this guy? And he's like, I'm not sure. I said MacGruber, and I don't know if Larry's that familiar with the movie.
No, I'm not.
And like, I swear to God, and especially knowing how Will Forte is like a really weird guy, I guarantee Will Forte saw this movie and went, "That's the look for MacGruber."
I'm going to rip off this guy from Friday the 13th.
The dude in Friday the 13th Part 7 is dressed exactly like MacGruber. And Larry, first of all, to anybody watching this, if you've never seen MacGruber, you have got to watch MacGruber. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah. But as soon as you watch it and then maybe go back and rewatch this, or you don't have to.
Well, you sent me a picture.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's got the vest, everything.
The vest, the flannel,
the haircut. The haircut is the exact same.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And one of you guys had mentioned it before about the 84 kills. It seems like this was a answer to the low death count in the last one, right? Because like in the last one, we literally had, what was it, 4 or 5 counselor kids, period. The final girl, and then the rest.
Yeah.
This one, we've got a whole birthday party full of people. Right. We got people going to the birthday party. We got campers who aren't at the birthday party. We got the doctor, the mom. Like, I'm surprised there's probably a longer version where Jason kills everybody in the grocery store in town too.
Might as well. I just kept thinking, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like every 5 minutes, like the campers, I was like, where the fuck are these people coming from? Like, there's just like random people popping up, which, you know, par for the course. Even in part 6, they had the weird fucking corporate hunting paintball fucking party or whatever. But MacGruber was just that was a weird, like, you know, but there was so many fucking people. Like, it was really hard to keep track of like who all these people were. Yeah. And they all had their own separate identities. You know, you had the bitchy girl with the pearls. You had the, you know, kind of, I don't know what Robin was, like a punk, the one who ended up with fake Andrew McCarthy, actually, when Maddie wanted her. There was so many. You had the black couple. You know, who that was like Jordan Peele with Jerry curls. Like, that's what he looked like to me. And
and his girlfriend, like Jordan Peele.
Yeah, and his girlfriend was dressed like Chucky. Like, she had
the good guy's outfit on.
Yeah, there's so many weird fucking people in this movie. It's just, and they all had their own weird fucking things going on, man. It was really the sci-fi kid.
Yeah.
The writer
Jesus Christ.
kept going on about how I've been rejected by 16 science fiction magazines. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear that. You're fucking it up. That's why you're not getting laid right now. That's why you're not screwing, you know, the girl with the pearls, because you're saying stupid shit.
He's also not getting laid because as soon as they introduce him to Tina, who he doesn't know from anybody, he starts like reciting like one of his stories or something. Yeah. It's like nobody cares about Zelnar from Mad Jack. You know what I mean? No one gives a fuck about your stories. Now this again, like I said, this movie feels like it is almost an answer to everything in 6 that maybe the producer said, okay, the movie didn't make like 40 million, it made 20. What can we do differently? Okay, we had like 6 or 7 characters. Let's up it to like 15. And also, we also have for the, because we didn't have it in the last one, we have Titay's The Return. So this is the movie where they come back and say, we're gonna give you some nudity. Now,
not much though.
Not much, but I will say, you get the girl in bed with the stoner guy,
Robin.
Yep. Okay, pretty nice, right? The redhead girl, pretty good. You get the other couple, the preppy guy who was banging the girl in the van. You get the black couple in the van banging. So you get a little bit of boobies here and there. But no Friday the 13th movie has actually like gotten us inside of a woman's vagina like this one before in the underwater Jaws death scene, right?
Yeah. I actually saw her esophagus through her vagina. I was like, holy shit, look at that. Like, it's a clear shot all the way up.
I felt like I had to call her like doctor to tell her I saw something alarming. Like where? Inside her inner, I don't know, her uvula. Her uvula looked a little red to me. I want you guys to get in there. or her ovum. I don't know.
Yeah. And we would be remiss not to just refer to that as the Jaws scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's the total Jaws scene. So Larry texted me last night and says, "Are you watching this?" And I said, "I'm halfway through it now." And he goes, "Where are you at?" And I think I told him where I was, and he goes, "I'm about." Oh no, I told him I'm at the Jaws death scene, and he's like, "I'm about 5 minutes ahead of that." So it's like all you have to do is say the Jaws death scene because they're just taking little bits here and there.
Yeah. They might as well have just used footage.
Yeah.
Just pull some footage from Jaws. Just throw it in there.
Brody shows up all of a sudden. You want to come down here and chum some of this shit?
Since we're talking about the Jaws death scene, I will appease everybody and say, like, if you're on pregnancy watch, I can't vouch that woman was pregnant, but she was trying very hard to get pregnant.
Yes,
and you know what? Actually, that scene was strange, not only because it's part of this weird ass fucking movie, but she wants to bang the dude. Like she even said, she's like, let me see that big cock or something. And then all of a sudden she just runs down to the lake, which it's just fucking purely mud and grossness.
Yeah.
And she just starts taking off her clothes, which is super easy to do because all she's wearing is a shirt and pants with no underwear, no bra. I'm just like, this whole thing, you want to have sex, but now you're standing in the mud and now you're jumping into the water. And none of it makes any sense.
Because all she could do was go on about how rich this guy was. She wanted to get him in the lake to have sex where you're not going to put a condom on. And she was going to lie about being on the pill. She wanted a rich baby. She knew what she was doing.
What if this guy actually put a condom on in the lake and then like we got that was a part of the scene.
In
was
the
like,
lake?
Is that like the 8 minutes of him trying to do that? Like,
the order of operations seems hard there.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to put it on first and then get in.
Then go in the lake.
Well, you know, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. It wouldn't work the other. You can't.
No.
I'm gonna try though.
Give it a shot, Stu.
Let us know. Works.
Go try it right now.
In the bathtub. Go in the bathtub later.
DP says mud is good for the skin. So yeah, we get this group of kids, and we've talked about this in every episode we've done so far, and we're going to continue. The level of like the group of kids we get, right? I'm telling you, whether you think the quality of the films goes up or down, I'm telling you, the level of the kids is going down movie by movie.
Yeah.
Like I actually think
it started in part 4. Part 4 had low real quality of kids. If you take the cool Crispin Glover dance scene out, which everybody remembers, all the other kids in that movie were terrible. And it's just really gotten progressively worse. I thought 6 was a bit of a step up because there were fewer characters. You could get to appreciate them a little better, but this is definitely the valley so far.
All right, so let's go around the horn. Manster, who is your least favorite of the kid characters that are at this birthday party? And by the way, this movie, I think I mentioned this in the last one, filmed under the title Birthday Bash. That's the secret, like they did with Return of the Jedi was Blue Harvest. This was Birthday Bash. They didn't want anybody to know it was a Friday the 13th movie. And this one filmed in Alabama. This was, so they went from Georgia and the last one to Alabama. So they're covering, this is like Friday the 13th, the Southern tour. So so Manser, who annoyed you the most? Who did you dislike the most?
Well, we already talked about the science fiction writer. That guy was a total tool. Couldn't stand him.
That's good. That's a good one.
The young girl, what was her name again? Velma?
Maddie.
Yeah. I was really pissed off that they made her to be such a awful character. They didn't. I just hated her. I was so happy when she died. And I felt bad for it because she's the youngest.
Yeah, but what fucking cracked me up was, so Robin was like, "You need a makeover," or whatever the fuck she said to her. And then Maddie went upstairs and did the makeover. And was like, "Fuck yeah!" And she looked exactly the same. I was like,
"No." The best part about that is she does her makeover. She hottifies herself up to whatever degree she can, and then she leaves the house. But everybody they know is in that house. Nobody has ever. There's nowhere else that people could go.
She's looking for.
Goes out into the woods and wanders off.
Right.
There are like a lot. Somebody told her.
The other thing about that scene is, she's in the mirror. She finishes making herself over, and then she looks. She goes, "Make over my ass."
Yeah.
You just did a makeover. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Man, you look worse. You look worse.
All she did was take her glasses off. Like that was it. That's the entire like. It's the Rachel Lee Cook. She's all that.
Yeah,
like the makeover.
That's the '90s nerd to hot girl transition.
Yeah.
She
looked.
Oh,
so didn't work.
She looked to me like a female softball player that went out for like a night. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really hottify her. She just went up like a half level from where she was at. Right. You know?
She was like the annoying little sister in like '80s teen movies, like. The little sister that tried to tag along with everybody, like the little sister from like Keith's little sister from Some Kind of Wonderful. Like that's kind of what she reminded me of. Right. I'm like, why the fuck is she even in this house? Like she's like 14 years old. I don't understand why she's a part of this. But apparently she wasn't like 14 years old. She just looked at and she wasn't my least favorite though. I'm on board with Patrick. That fucking fake Andrew McCarthy kid, David. Yeah. David, I fucking hated him. I'm like, why are the girls fighting over this fucking clown? Fucking clown shoes. The guy's clown shoes. Fuck him.
He was garbage.
Yeah,
he was garbage.
Yeah.
Stu, who did you hate?
I in the same group of people. Mine's not Maddie, and mine isn't the fake Andrew McCarthy guy. Mine is the redheaded chick who just completely throws her best friend under the bus and be like, you like this guy, but screw it. I'm gonna go get stoned and fuck him.
But we got
so obnoxious.
I like that about a girl. Like that about a
girl. And we did get to see her quite decent breasts as well, Stu. So I can't really hate her too much.
That's fair, but as a character, pretty shitty.
Quick thing before I forget to say it.
All the dudes did suck in this movie. Yeah, Nick is also terrible.
Nick is a whole other thing.
Russell, the fucking preppy with the big dick, is a fucking
that's my choice. Is Russell? Like know, it's like it was such a thing in the '80s. To make someone a preppy character by having them wear the sweater around their neck, and they did that. They made him wear the sweater around his neck.
I just saw a meme like fucking 3 days ago that had Roger from Revenge of the Nerds, and it had a picture of him with the sweater, and it was like any dude from the '80s who had a sweater tied around his neck, certified dickhead, like
absolute bad guy,
yeah.
So I wanted to bring up real quick while it's fresh in my head. The Robin death scene, I was watching the making of thing today. 2 interesting facts about that. Number one, the original death was Jason hacks her in the midsection with a machete. When they looked back on it, they stopped filming. They went back, they looked at it, and they realized that the fake torso they had looked like it was not on level. So they were like, it looks too fake. We have to redo it. But they're not in Alabama anymore. They're back in Los Angeles. So they call the actress back in. And they refilm her death scene at the exact same house they used for the ending of part 4, which is in California. So that must be on a Paramount lot. So the room she's in that she dies in is not the same room that you see in the rest of the scene. They throw her through the window, and they couldn't find a female stunt person, like I guess on that notice. So, and they show the scene again. total dude. It's a guy with a red wig on, wearing her pajama shirt, but his legs are all fucking muscled up. He's going to. So if you go back and watch that scene, when you get to it,
Could you tell?
to it. Oh, you absolutely can tell.
Yeah.
You can see the wig.
I'll
and
keep
you can
an
see
eye out for it. I just got the Jaws death scene, and I forgot my favorite part about that is how she's 2 feet away from the shore and she's just flailing around he's never learned how to swim.
Yeah. Chris has a good one. The black guy was annoying because he kept waiting for the dead guy to show up.
Michael,
He even interrupted sex.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, he was fucking. Yeah, that's right. He was like in the middle of
pumping. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, hold on. I think Michael's out because, of course, fucking Jason's shaking the van because he loves to shake things. We've established that through the whole fucking series. He's always shaking something.
I'll be back in 2 shakes.
But of course, like, it shakes, and this dude's like, "Oh, I bet you that's Michael. I got to go outside and find him. Let me grab this little party horn." What are you doing, dude? Like, what are you? And whatever. I was just like, what are you? In real life, that guy's gay, so I guess it makes sense that he was like, "Oh, fuck it, let me get out of here." Like,
let me go see Michael.
yeah, Michael's out there, fucking party horn. I'm out of here.
What I found really weird about that whole part was that he's giving it to his girlfriend. They think they hear someone. Oh, it must be Michael or whoever. So the girl gets mad and goes, "No, let's open the door and greet him together." It's like, how close of a friend are you? That you're in the middle of you're naked, you're in the back of a van, you're like mid-stroke fucking, and this is the time to say happy birthday to somebody. I'm personally the kind of friend that would appreciate any of you to wait, get changed, shower, and then come say to me, happy birthday. That's just me. I'm traditional. It was weird.
This movie has a turning point, and I will talk about this when we get into our grades, where the movie, I think, starts one direction, and then the second half, I feel an entirely different way about it. But there's an exact turning point where things got better for me in this movie, and it is the scene that I'm watching right now where Nick and Melissa are having a conversation in the kitchen, and out of focus in the background, for no particular reason, is the sci-fi guy just tangling himself up in streamers.
Yeah, I think I'm around there, too.
Nice. That's the best part. What is going on in that scene? I don't know a damn thing Nick or Melissa say to each other because I am just watching that guy in the background
Nick, what was the deal with the fake Andrew McCarthy when he's drinking all that shit and it was spewing all over?
Yeah, I don't know.
What was that?
I think they gave these kids carte blanche. They didn't really have
just do shit.
They're fucking. So the script just says do what you want. So they're all just fucking throwing shit in their face and blowing fucking party horns. One guy's fucking twirling his ding-a-ling around. It's just, they had no real direction, I don't think, when it came to those scenes.
I think you're right, Larry. I think
it was
you're
just kind of
right.
I'm sure Beekler was just kind of it's a party scene. Do whatever the fuck you do at a party.
Do party thing.
Yeah.
But no, that turned the entire movie around for me. Just guy in the background tangling himself up in streamers because it's so out of place. It doesn't belong there. 2 characters are having a conversation to move the plot, but I don't care because that guy's back there, and I'm just like, you do that, guy. You just tangle yourself all up.
Yeah.
There's a turning point for this movie for me as well, and I mean we'll get to it, but honestly, this movie shifts gears for me totally from being okay, this is another one of these fucking movies. These kids are all dying, blah, blah, blah. But when we get to the point where it's the final showdown between her and him, I honestly feel like that whole bit, and we'll talk about it, is out of a much better movie. The last 20 minutes where it's Jason versus Gina.
Gene Gray.
There is some fucking incredibly dope stuff going on in those scenes. Yes. There's some great effects. There's some great stunts. That's kind of where I have this is better than, a stub toe is better than 6'2" as well, but
yeah. Oh, has fake Andrew McCarthy chugged the beers yet? Has he fucking shotgunned the beers yet? Which by shotgun I mean he pops it open and just pours it all over.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's much earlier.
Fucking asshole. I was like, you're an asshole, man. You're a fucking asshole.
That's the first time Tina meets them.
Listen, if I was fucking 19 years old and saw that dude at a party, I would have kicked the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah.
I would have probably beat up everybody at that fucking party.
You get the punch right in the
Girls
face.
included. I would have fucking beat up everybody.
Larry is
Fuck
the
all of
Jason of this movie. You should just superimpose Larry's face over Jason in this movie, and Larry's just killing
know what
these
I would-
people.
If I'd showed up at that party, what I would have done is found a phone and called my friends so we could all just beat the shit out of these people and take their booze. That's and that's all they deserved. That's all they almost deserved to get killed in this movie. Always, I say almost because it's harsh. Wanting somebody to be killed is harsh. So I'll just say almost. Like they definitely deserved a beating.
I would like them all to be crippled, not dead.
Just a beating. Just a beating. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, continue talking about how much you love these characters. That's a great segue.
Yeah. It's just
Take their booze and their pearls.
Take their booze and pearls. Again, we've talked about this in all 6 of these, plus this one we've been doing, is how each one of these movies obviously are made on the cheap. And again, we talked about it the last time or 2 times ago, where they put up $3 million, they get back 25, they do a bunch of coke, they get someone to write another one, and they're like, okay, we're doing this again. We're gonna do it again next year. Let's fucking get the coke. Let's get the 25 million. Let's do it again, and again, right? But they also seem to be taking portions of the ideas of each one of these movies and jamming it into the next one. So what I think is kind of like part 4 in this one is the basic plot idea of we have a group of kids renting a party house and then the neighbors become involved. It's the same fucking thing. Yeah. Tommy Jarvis was the neighbor who gets involved with those group of kids. Like, it's almost like they just keep going, like I used to watch the show 24, and 24 every year would be, it's a virus or a fucking nuke. What are we going to do this year? And it would be a nuke in season 2. And then Jack would stop the nuke. And then they'd go, next year, it's not a virus. It's like a poison or a toxin.
Yeah.
It's got to be a toxin. Jack would save the world. Next year, got to be a nuke. And that's what it seems like with these movies is how are we going to introduce characters into this world every time? Well, we're going to have a bunch of kids and again, here we are 7 episodes in, 7 films in, and how many were actually about counselors at Crystal Lake? 2?
Maybe 2. 1
6?
and 4? What? I don't
know.
I've lost
6?
all. 1 and 6, I meant. Yeah.
6, 1, and 2. 3 of them. 3
Okay.
of the.
I was going to say 2 was definitely counselors. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. They were counselors of a camp that didn't exist yet, really.
Yeah.
Campers, right?
No.
Just in 6.
Just in 6. 6 was the only one with campers.
Little kids.
6 had the kids.
Fucking asshole campers. Fucking. Looks like we're gonna die.
What were you gonna be?
What did you want to be when you grew up? Yeah, I admitted that was the weakest part. Slow your roll.
Yeah, come on.
That was the worst part.
I was a kid. I'd have shit all over the floor. Like this kid's fucking cracking jokes like he's George Carlin. Like,
now, do you guys think that this one suffers in any? Now, we introduced a new element into the last one as well, the campers and the kids. But another new element was the music of Alice Cooper. Do you think that we went down a notch by not do you think at this point we should have had like a Winger song in it? Like what band? Okay, so here I'm going to go to each one of you. What 1980s hair band or metal band or mix the genres however you want? Yep. Who would you have had write a song for 7 if you could have? And Dokken is off the table because as we all know, Dream Warriors. Don't fuck with that. All right.
Yeah.
So, and everybody out there who's chatting, let us know what 80s band would you Striper. Holly immediately is Striper. They were very religious, but so
they were very religious.
Stu, reach back into the Wayback Machine. Who would you have had write something for this?
I think this could have done with a Crew song.
A Crew song. All right,
yeah,
Larry.
I think this could have done for that.
Oh God. So Dokken's off the table. You know what? I'm going 80s no makeup Kiss.
Ooh, all right.
I'm going.
Lick it up, Eric Kiss. Manster, who do you got?
It's got to be a hair band.
Well, it doesn't have to be a hair band, but like a metal band of some sort.
Brian's good with the Wasp.
I can go with Rat.
Okay.
Rat's a good one.
Stephen Piercy. We got Spielberg says Wasp. We got Chris with Megadeth. Holly says Great White too soon. Joe got beat to it. I'm gonna go. Boy, I think I'm gonna go with. Let me just dig around here. I'm gonna go with something a little bit off. I'm gonna go Europe. I think. Yeah.
way too much keyboard.
It's a lot of keyboard, but
a lot of keyboard. That's a lot of keyboard.
It's a lot of keyboard, but I think with one of our ideas, maybe very possibly Stu's crew, Cinderella. Yeah, we could have done.
Quiet Riot's a good one.
Quiet Riot is a good one. Yeah. Scorpions, but nobody would understand what he was saying.
No.
You know, the Klaus Main. Oh, Eric Knockins says Leatherwolf.
Who was? Oh, Jesus Christ! Who was the Russian fucking?
Could have had D. Snyder, maybe.
There was a Russian. Gorky Park. That's
yeah.
Bang!
You remember that? Tell me yes, and let's feed the fire. Yeah. They didn't they play? I think they played at that big. Remember that big festival. The festival in Russia with the Motley Crue and Skid Row. Yeah. I used to buy Metal Edge magazine. No, let me rephrase that. I used to steal Metal Edge magazine from a grocery store locally to me all the time when I was like 12, 13 years old. So
I'm gonna fucking change. I'm changing to Manowar. That's right.
Manowar.
I'm changing it to Manowar. Fuck Kiss. I'm going. Whoa. Fuck no makeup Kiss. We're gonna
slow your roll.
Yeah, I know. I love Kiss. We're gonna go Manowar. I played a show at Manowar once. I played a show
at Manowar.
Yeah, it was one of the most bizarre shows I've ever played because we were in a hardcore band, but it was like sometimes they would do like I think it was in Detroit. They would do like a metal fest where they would throw all kinds of different bands on the bill, and we played like 2 bands before Manowar, and I'm like, dude, we just got off stage like doing fucking jumps and like fucking. Our hardcore thing, and then here's these guys in loincloths with fucking furry boots, and I'm like, holy shit, this is really fucking like the 2 most bizarre was that and us playing with Deicide, and I was a band called 2x4, and we played with Deicide, who, if you know, they're just like ultra like legitimate Satan worshipers. Like the singer Glenn Benton has an upside down cross branded into his forehead.
Oh,
and we opened up like we played right before them, and he came up to us and was just like, I really like your band. I was like, thank you, sir. Thank you. Fucking don't fucking kill me.
I make a terrible sacrifice.
Yeah.
No demons want me. It's fine.
Yeah. I was vegan at the time. You don't want any fucking part of this. Like,
Larry, if you want to join the band, we were going to eat our drummer's brains anyway. So,
yeah. So Manowar. I'm changing mine to Manowar. That's
all right. All right, Manowar. There's a lot of good. Manowar would have. Let's see what does Patrick say. Would have done a song with 2 lines about Jason, the rest about Vikings and Odin.
He's right. I appreciate that. I love Vikings and Odin. So
the song by Manowar from. Jason Lives would be called like the Hammer of Jason.
Yeah, something like that.
Go a little deeper into the Christian rock too. Go
Voorhees and Valhalla. Voorhees and Valhalla.
Yes,
that's what it would be.
On my way to Valhalla, I stopped to see the eyes of Voorhees. So we got all these fucking goofy kids. Now I want to bring up something that we talked about again as well a little bit in the last one. Is the kills seem to be getting less gory as the series goes along, and Beekler talked about this, and there's deleted scenes on the Blu-ray that show some of the kills in their original form, and they're much heavier. Like when the mother gets killed, the mother gets what is it, like not a machete, he has like that spear.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
It looks like an old Arabian like gladiator fucking
looks
thing.
Like something Manowar would have on stage.
Yeah. When he stabs her through the back in the movie, it's pretty tame. In the deleted scene, like her guts blow out. When the kid with the James Spader from every 80s movie kid with the sweater, when he gets the machete or the pickaxe or the spike to the face, at one point you do see the damage it does, but in the deleted scene, he hits the ground, he's writhing in pain, and his face is like fucking gone.
Yeah,
it's
like split in half.
It is for trimming trees. Thank you, DP.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
I had no fucking idea. I was like, what is that weird thing? I think my favorite kill that they fucking took out was Ben, the Jordan Peele guy. Fucking Jason, and again, you can find the deleted scene. Jason squishes, you see all you see is he just like does that and then it cuts away. But in the deleted scene, he fucking squishes it all the way, blood's shooting out.
See, I would have rather seen that.
Oh, it's glorious.
You typically see the squishing head side to side, not top to bottom, which is nice.
That's standard. That's American standard.
My favorite kill was the sleeping bag.
Well, we're gonna get to that. You haven't done one of the shows yet. We get to that at the end.
Sorry.
But
Come on, Lloyd.
Manster is throwing the
what do you think?
system
I
into
watch
array.
this show? What are you crazy?
No,
That's it.
you don't
I'm
watch these.
I'm out of here.
Watch this.
I will say I'm gonna be damn surprised if we don't all pick that as our favorite kill. So I was again watching today. Kane Hodder was talking about that kill. So what happened was they and like they said, that kill is not a gore kill, it's a violent kill, right? That's just a violent scene. So the bag, it's sleeping bag filled with blood, like squibs, like all these big blood squibs.
2 gallons or something.
Yeah.
No, 20 gallons. Something
And the
crazy.
tree had blades taped to it or affixed to it. So he's supposed to pick it up and slam it into the blades, and the blades cut through the bag, and then the blood shoots out, and then you get the shot of him throwing the girl on the ground. Well, Kane Hodder apparently, stuntman, he was having a hard time lifting it. He twisted his back doing it. It was wet. He was getting fucking irritated. So him actually like slamming that is him doing it, he said, out of complete irritation. Like he couldn't get a good hold of it. So that's where you get like the violence of it is this dude's really pissed off. And at the end of it, he said that in 4 movies, that is his favorite kill of anyone he did. Now there is a kill in Jason X that I do remember that
Jason X has another very good one.
There's one in Jason X that I think might be maybe the best of the series, possibly. But yeah, it's this sleeping bag is one of the higher ones in the series for me at this point so far.
Yeah, but that's another one they trimmed way the fuck down. Originally, he did it like 3 fucking times, but they just trimmed it to like 1 smash against the tree and cut. This went back to the MPAA 9 times for cuts.
Oh, jeez!
Wow.
Yeah,
9.
it shows because there's
9
no
times.
gore in this movie.
Right.
The violence and the gore in this one are almost non-existent. And if you go back to like even 1 and 2 and 3, some of the kills, there's some pretty bloody stuff. And it just seems like as we get further along in the series, it just gets a little bit more pussified.
Right. Right. They fucking killed Buechler with these fucking with the cuts. Another real gory one was the doctor. Like in the actual cut, you just see Jay. First of all, I've never seen a weed whacker with a circular saw on it.
Yeah, that's the tool that I wanted to know what the hell it was. Like the buzz saw on a stick.
That looks real fucking dangerous. Like I didn't see any safety fucking.
No, that tool is just designed to maim people by accident.
But in the cut scene, like all you see in the movie is like you basically see him like poke him at it and like do like one little cut. But in the cut scene, the full scene, you see like the guts wrapping around the circle, like the fucking circular saw. Like it's real nasty. And again, that's just one of the many that they cut.
What do you got, Master?
I got the Jaws death scene on right now, and I can definitely confirm she has throat cancer.
Yeah,
I did see a cavity.
She had a cavity. Yeah, I called her orthodontist, and we took care. She has an appointment next week. No, I think the direction of that scene was, what do you want, John? You want us to get a little bit closer, a little bit? And he just said, get inside of her. And the guy's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
It was almost like, remember when you were like in a health class and they showed you that like inside of a woman's body video?
Yeah,
like that's kind of what it was. Like I felt like that's where we were.
So Patrick says, well, they had their established audience. They probably felt that it wasn't worth fighting the MPAA. Kids would go see it anyway. A mistaken notion. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It just seems like as we get further along in the 80s, and movies might get a little bit gorier, and we're going the opposite direction here. Right. And the other thing is, and we don't really talk about this so much, is this movie is not even remotely scary. Like these movies, legitimately,
they stop being scary already.
But legitimately,
like there's 1 or 2 scenes per movie they'll throw in, like the scene with Velma in the barn. It's intense.
Okay.
And
to an extent,
it just came up on the screen. I actually was going to mention it. It was whenever Lloyd was talking about throat cancer for the Jaws kill. But the scene where the stoner guy comes downstairs and he's going to the fridge, and you get this like overshot of the entire kitchen, and you see the lightning flash, and you just can tell Jason is in the corner of the room just chilling out there. That's a really good shot. Like, that's creepy. But yeah, I mean, you take those two away, this is essentially just an action movie.
We didn't even get it. Like, for me, we didn't even get a jump scare in the catapult, the like, as we talk about always, the tossing a cat into a scene when Robin opens the closet and the cat shoots out of the closet like it's on a fucking trebuchet.
We are now just under 50% of all Jason movies have a chucked cat.
Yeah.
Paul?
Paul? I think we got a few of those. Like fucking
Chris. Like, no, it's Chris or Dave.
No, Nick.
I mean, here's a valid question. How many scenes in this movie?
Jason and his bucket of kittens. Yeah.
How many scenes in this movie featured people running through the woods?
Too many.
All of them.
Yeah.
Too many.
Yeah.
All of them. All of the scenes.
Yeah. Everybody runs through the woods at some point.
I'm always amazed at how Jason is always in the right place, whether
Jason is
back
everywhere.
and forth between the house, the shack, the woods, the road, everywhere.
Oh, there was something at the beginning that really bothered me. Who was the bitchy girl with the pearls again? I can't remember these.
Madison.
Okay, maybe.
I thought it was Melissa. I could be
Melissa.
wrong.
Melissa. I think it is Melissa. When fucking there's a scene when they're like, "Where's Nick?" and Melissa goes, "Oh, she's probably next door visiting Marilyn Munster." Like, how is that a fucking shot at her when Marilyn was like the good-looking one of the Munsters? Like, now I'm mad at you on multiple levels.
And she actually looked more like Marilyn Munster herself.
Yeah, you don't know your Munster.
The same thing, Munster. I'm like, she looks like Marilyn Munster.
Yeah.
Fucking the other girl doesn't look like Marilyn Munster. She's got like kind of a bad haircut, and she's wearing. I mean, it's common for the '80s. She's wearing mom jeans, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that was totally bogus.
Yeah, and the whole like, so Tina gets there and Nick automatically falls in love, right? Like,
like instantly,
immediately,
and she is a complete dick to him right away.
And he did her laundry. Like, she dropped something,
yes,
and he laundered it. Like, not just like brushed it off, but like professionally laundered it. Like, it was folded, starched, gorgeous, and like brought it back over to her. And then later on, after she's had this vision that nobody believes of the cousin Michael, she's like, "Well, what the fuck does he look like?" And he's like, "Hold on, I got a picture." Who fucking carries a picture of your cousin in your goddamn wallet?
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I also thought
it made me so reminisce though. Like, having a picture of your cousin in your wallet, but just like try explaining that to somebody in 2020. Like, explain that to a 20-year-old. Like, why does that person have pictures in their wallet?
Yeah,
we didn't have phones. Yeah. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had
a different time.
I had Fallout.
Tons of them. Yeah, I had pictures, but never. And I'm real close with my cousin. Like, my cousin Dave, real close, but I never had a picture of him.
Never had a picture of your cousin.
No. I got no pictures.
And it's like the first picture too. He opens it right away. He's like, "Oh, this is my cousin."
Here he is.
Is
right
it
here.
him?
Right, here's a shot of him skiing, and then here he is on the toilet.
And here's
Holly's got a great point there. The kids, like, her necklace blew up.
It levitates. It fucking levitates. And then explodes.
Yeah, and Tina's just clearly clearly concentrating, and nobody is like, fucking, we need to discuss the girl next door just made her fucking necklace explode. Nobody fucking, this dude just goes on pouring beer in his face. The fucking two girls just go on arguing about fake Andrew McCarthy. Nobody's at all concerned.
Some guys twirling around with ribbon.
Yeah. Nobody's concerned that the girl next door can make shit explode with her mind. They're unconcerned. The only person concerned is the girl with the pearls, and just because she wants to fuck Nick.
Yeah.
That's the only thing she's concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another hidden subplot. Nick has a crush on his cousin. Yeah. He was actually at the party. He was going to tell him
he's gay in real life too. He's gay in real life too. So maybe he did.
Yeah. He was going to tell him straight out. He was like, "Look, this is doubly awkward. Because not only is it going to be homosexual, it's going to be incestuous." And that's just a lot to throw at you at once, but I love you, Mike.
Yeah. And I had, heads up, I work at a laundry.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't know. I own a laundry.
I'm really good with delicates.
Laundry. Yeah. I can handle those.
I immediately thought when they introduced Nick, and I know this is like my comic book mind, But I immediately thought, because at that same time in like 1988, there was a Superboy TV show, and I immediately thought this kid probably definitely tried out for it. Like he had that like kind of like Superman look, to him.
Absolutely. I definitely thought that about him every time he was on.
Yeah, he's got that like that hero Superman clean cut guy look.
He looked like Clark Kent.
He did. He looked like Clark Kent. And when you brought up the whole laundry thing, I even said like to Lindsay as we were watching it, I'm like, I know he thinks he's helping her by picking her shit up until he accidentally grabs her underwear, and then he grabs her underwear. It's like, he's like, oh, and she's like, thanks a lot.
Thanks for the help. You're so helpful.
That was really weird. Right too. That was awkward.
Yeah. She's an asshole too. That was like one of the first things I was like, this girl's an asshole.
She's like the preeminent sex reverse pickup artist. She was negging him.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
I'm about to watch the lady get chucked out the window, so I want to.
See. You'll see a musculature, and you'll definitely tell that it's a wig for sure. I don't know. So we get through this whole thing, and this again, it's a horror movie. We've gotten to a point, I think, in 1988 where horror is so popular to an extent and so preeminent out there that it's forgetting to be gory and scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a question. When was all the parental advisory on records? Like, when was that? When did all
90,
that take place?
89, 90?
Yeah, that was the very beginning of the 90s.
Yeah. So the PMRC and all that bullshit.
Right. Al Gore, Tipper Gore.
Right.
So I was just wondering if like this kind of censorship was like the beginning of like all of that, like if it was somehow intertwined. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why they censored this so much. Like I said, 9 times seems a little excessive to go back and forth from the. And the interview I saw with one of the producers was like, they would send us and say, all right, you have to cut this. And so we would cut this and this and send it back, and they'd say, okay, you also have to cut this. And he's like, why didn't they just send us this, like the whole list at the first time? Like,
right.
Like, why did they have to keep, and it was just like, they were trying to get
They didn't make it the whole way through the movie. They were just
Probably
like 10 minutes in. Here's what to fix with this 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll get to the rest later.
I don't know. It really bothers me. God damn the man. Damn the man. Save the empire.
All right. Patrick says, as soon as the audience is rooting for the villains, it's not horror anymore. And by this point in the great franchises, the monsters were what fans cared about. And that is true, because if you think about it, like this is 88. Let's say this is Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Nightmare on Elm Street 1 is a legitimately terrifying movie. Scary as fuck. Right? Larry showed it last year or 2 years ago. I hadn't seen it in years. That movie's fucking frightening.
Nightmare on Elm Street. You're not rooting for Freddy in any way.
Not at all. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, for all its jokes, we did the episode with Larry on it, still has some pretty scary shit in it, a lot of body horror. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is scary, but that's where they start with the superhero-y type stuff. Once you get to like 4 and beyond, that's where Freddy is essentially, doing one-liner, like, "Oh, eat a pizza, bitch," or whatever his lines are,
It's the power glove.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing that's happening with these films as well.
Yeah.
Is we're getting to the point where people are like, look, I went when I was 13 years old, I went on Halloween as Freddy Krueger. I went as like a fucking child murdering, because at that point I knew him from like part 4 and everything. And it's like, he's the funny guy, and that's what we're getting with this stuff. Anthony, no, you know what? I will tell you right now. I love Nightmare 2 as well.
I do too.
We did an episode on it a couple years ago. I saw it 3 times in the course of like a year, because I watched it once, having not seen it in a long time, on like Hulu. And I remember messaging Larry and saying, this is like the weirdest, most subversive gay horror movie I've ever seen. He's like, oh yeah, it's known for that. I didn't know that. Then he picked it to do on our show. I watched it again. And then like a year later, he showed it along with Nightmare on Elm Street 1. And I'll tell you, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, you're absolutely right. It does take the rules of the series and throws them out the window. Now it's a body possession horror thing. But I mean, it's a pretty fucking good movie. And I also suggest, I think we talked about it before, what's the name of the documentary about Mark Patton and Larry?
Scream Queens. Yeah.
Scream Queen. Very good documentary.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. And a great guest at Horror Fest, 2 years ago? 3 years? I don't even remember. But he was awesome. Mark Patton's a great guy.
Does the Jarvis family still have their cabin down the street? Do these characters know about the Jarvises?
Yeah, Holly's got a great point. Motherfuckers are driving by signs that say Crystal Lake, and nobody's like, "Hey, that's where Jason."
That's Forest Green. We call it Forest Green now.
Yeah, they changed it before.
But yeah, they changed. But apparently, it changed back in the 34 years since the last part.
Yeah,
because now the signs are back to saying Crystal Lake. Oh,
well, so I did mention this on the last episode that somewhere
so upset.
In my research I read that part 6 took place in 1990. I mentioned that in the last episode, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but it's impossible to peg.
So if part 6 takes place in 1990, this is 2000,
right?
So
this
their
timeline for part 6 doesn't make any sense, though.
So
no, you're right. You're right.
They're 12 years into the future. They are telling us that in 2000 people are going to have their hair like that.
Yeah,
and frankly,
and they're going to be driving 1970s vehicles.
Frankly, insulting. I find it insulting that you think people's hair is going to be like this in the year 2000. Fuck all of you.
Patrick says that someone with too much time needs to draw a map of Crystal Lake and take every movie scenes into account. And I don't discount you, Patrick, but I'm telling you, out there in the world of fandom, someone's done
it. Yeah, it's there. Somebody's got it.
I think you can kind of piece it together from the Friday the 13th game that they made, because they have all the different maps. I wonder if you could just kind of figure out where they should join.
I have that game right here.
Yeah.
I haven't opened it though. But
there's like, you can go on and you can choose whether you want to fight at like Mackinac Lodge or whatever it's called, or the Jarvis House or Crystal Lake. So like all the different maps are on there.
Oh, you mean the video? You mean the video game? Okay.
What game are you talking about?
Can we just? No, he's got a board game. He's got. Larry is the king of buying board games that he never opens or plays.
No, the video game. The video game.
So can we talk real quick? Just a tangent off this for a second and talk about the video game. Is that video game ending? What is? I know it's got all these legal problems. Is it not the servers are going down?
So I tried to ask our friend Carlos Danger,
who plays it nonstop.
Well, like if he's awake for 12 hours, he plays it for 11 and a half.
Yeah,
like,
this is the host of a great podcast here in Connecticut, the Mobile Horror Companion.
Yeah, which apparently is
horror.
They're changing their name apparently.
Oh, are they really?
I saw some. I didn't listen, but their last episode they said that they're changing formats. It's like a radio station going from like metal to country. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with it. I don't know if they're going to do like a guiding light kind of companion show. I don't know, but he plays the game a lot. So I asked him, and he said they're taking all the servers offline.
What's the name of this game?
Friday the 13th. It's not hard to forget. Friday the 13th.
Is it like a survival horror game? Like what
You're
kind
Jason.
Of game is it?
You're either Jason.
There are 9 people that play. 8 of them are camp counselors. 1 of them is Jason.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So you're either trying to survive or you're trying to kill everybody.
And I think you could only play this live, right? This is a game that only plays like
it has a 1-player mode.
Yeah, you just play as Jason.
You're Jason, and you've got things you have to do, like go kill these 2 guys before they hear you.
You have things you have to do, like crap.
You have side missions.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. I'm not a gamer, for Christ's sake. I don't know what they're called. I've had the game for like 2 years. I can't figure it out. I still haven't been able to figure it out. I've tried it several times. But so the online portion, what he was saying is once they take the servers down, then you'll still be able to play. But if somebody in your game, in your 9-person universe drops out, the game will shut down or something like that.
Oh.
I have no fucking idea how it
That's
works.
weird.
Yeah, there's all kinds of legal problems with that game, right? Like
there's all sorts of legal problems with the
Friday
series.
the 13th. Yeah,
right.
Which is why there hasn't been one since the remake.
Yeah,
because I mean, come on, you don't think these guys want to put out a fucking another Friday the 13th every goddamn year?
I want to see another Friday the 13th.
Yeah, they want to do it.
I'm there for this. Fix it.
I know you are. God knows you are. They want to do it, but Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham have been fighting each other in courts for fucking years now over this shit.
Yeah.
All right, where's Dino here? I love Dino. I only play offline as Jason for catharsis. Yeah, it's good. You get to kill people, you know. Hey,
we had maybe I'm jumping ahead a few movies here, but we had briefly talked about that. The fan films. Somebody mentioned, Holly mentioned in the comments there. There's Never Hike in the Woods, or Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow. Are we going to cover those when we're done with the propers?
Oh, we talked about that. Like, maybe
okay, that's what I meant.
Ago.
I know we had discussed it.
Yes, yeah. So from here on out, and we're not done with today's episode.
Because I haven't seen those yet.
Me neither.
I'm excited.
So, from here on out, we're going to hit Manhattan, and then we're going to hit Jason Goes to Hell. We're going to do Freddy versus Jason.
Well,
we're going to 10, right? I'm forgetting 10. Freddy versus Jason. Then we're going to hit the reboot, and then we're going to do the Never Hike Alone 1 and 2.
Well, I only have one more movie. I bought that digital pack, so I got one more.
All right. Well, I don't know what a digital pack is. It sounds amazing, though.
It was like $13 first 8 movies.
Sounds
good deal.
Yeah. That's not bad.
DP says Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow are good Friday fan films. All right,
they really are.
I've heard good things, but I haven't seen them.
Yeah, they really are good.
Maybe the way we'll judge those two is we'll pick which ones of the proper ones we've done, those are actually better than. You know, so we'll say
a lot.
Never Hike Alone better than 4, 7, blah blah. You know, maybe that'll be a nice way.
Yeah.
Anthony says, and we'll just tangent for a second. Side note: Clive Barker is getting the Hellraiser rights back, which might be a good thing or might be a bad thing. Yeah, that's a series that like I like the first one a lot, and then there's like 7 after that. Then
fuck you. 2 is amazing. Fuck you.
2 is good. You're right. 2 is good. The last one I ever saw of those was in space. And much like all these movies, they go to space eventually, which we're heading to sail too. So,
but after 2, it's a fucking hot mess. Once you get to part 3, where Pinhead's trapped in some kind of a rotating box, and there's a guy with CDs in his head, you knew it was downhill when Danny Tartable for the Yankees is there. I'm like, that's Danny Tartable. Like, what's he doing in the club scene? I'm like, look at him, old number 45. Hey, Danny.
You'll find him in the club.
I agree with it. I agree with Anthony. I like 2 the best.
Stop. No more talking. We need John to just continue rapping 50 Cent, and that'll take us out this episode.
No, maybe later. We got plenty more. We still have some more stuff to talk to. If you're looking for new direction, they should just drop Jason into Syria to take out ISIS. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Weaponize him. You know what I mean? Weaponize him, right? Yeah, so let's finish this episode up before we do the ratings and the best kill.
Yeah.
Let's get into the best part of this movie. Everybody's dead one way or the other, and it is now Superman, whatever his name was, Nick, Tina, and Jason. And again, in my humble opinion, whether you like this movie or not, this thing takes the fuck off when it becomes Tina versus Jason.
Yeah.
Again, I feel whatever my score is going to be almost based entirely on this last 20 minutes, 15 minutes of the movie.
There's the scene where I forget why, but Tina is running and she comes around a corner and you just see like Jason standing in a puddle. And the movie does like a whole like face-off kind of thing between the two of them. It's like the movie's way of being like, buckle the fuck up for the last 20 minutes of Jason versus this girl.
They did a really good job.
I think Stu said at the beginning, it was like the last one, they made him so fucking powerful that they were like, we've got to give him, because, you know, don't forget, in parts 2 and 3 and 4, people were knocking him down. People were, you know, he was clearly
repeatedly.
He's clearly strong, but also clearly human.
He's afraid of chainsaws.
Right. Yeah. He's like, so now that's fucking rude. That's just rude. So, and they were like, we've got to give him somebody to actually fucking fight. So, you know, here's Jean Grey / Carrie.
Yeah. And I also like the idea of this movie that in the beginning, Tina essentially can't even harness her powers. Like she can't move a matchbook, right?
Right.
Then she moves the match, and it goes along with her getting more scared, which you would think, or more angry, which you would think would go along with the idea of being more scared. I would have liked to seen maybe where someone says to Tina, oh fuck, I'm trying to think of the Avengers quote. What's the Avengers quote with the Hulk too?
Now's a good time to get angry.
Now's a good time to get angry, Tina. You don't understand, Nick. That's my secret,
Nick.
I'm always angry.
I'm always angry. And then she like pushes Jason through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
You know, because this is hotter is probably the best. Anthony says dibs on Tina. Hodder is probably the best physicality wise. Jason, like, and you know,
he's a surprisingly spry Jason. Like most Jasons are so stiff and walking along, but like I'm a few minutes past it here, but like he does like a Spider-Man leap through the window in this.
He goes through the window, like
and he's like all crouched like Spider-Man. It's great,
which isn't bad for a mummy, right, Pat?
Patrick says the ending is the best, but I also think it's weirdly restrained, probably because of the low budget. You expect her to drop trees and pick up trucks on him, but instead she hits him in the face with a swing. No, you're okay.
But there's like a few scenes with lights like hitting him, right? Like
she knocks the roof down on him.
Yeah, Holly's right. We got to really give this scene the respect it deserves. So, is the first thing she does explode his mask? Is that?
No, that's after. No. That's after he pisses her off a little bit.
Yeah, he's all because it's happening right now. The mask. He's already gone down the stairs, had the roof collapsed on him. The mask comes later.
Okay. Yeah. So let's
when
go over.
She's learned to harness. Now she's like Luke fucking elevating the fucking X-wing fighter out of the swamp now. Like
she home alones his ass is how Dino put it. It is true. Right.
She also thinks she kills him with the little roof that falls.
Well, that's just her stupidity being someone in a horror movie that doesn't get how these things work, you know.
Right.
What was the movie we talked about very recently? Lloyd and I did an episode of Pint Movie Invitational with Melissa from Skull Art, and we did Red Dragon. And at the end, spoiler for Red Dragon if you haven't seen it, it's like 20 years old. But at the end of Red Dragon, they kill the bad guy. The wife of the main character shoots the bad guy in the head, and it has this great scene, and we discussed this, where she goes over to pick up like Edward Norton, who's the husband, and he's all fucked up, and he says, shoot him again, because he's the only person that realizes that even in a movie, this motherfucker's gonna get up again. And that's what Tina does not do, is Tina drops an awning on him after she sees the guy go through a window, go through the basement. She chokes him with an electrical cord from a lamp. She busts like light bulbs in his face. Several. She uses her powers to squeeze his head until his mask blows off. But then the awning falls on him. She's like, "It's cool. He's gone."
Killed him.
Well, to be fair, she owed him.
That wouldn't even kill anyone here.
No,
it really wouldn't.
Earlier in the movie, she revives Jason, and Jason looks at her, and she just faints on the dock, and Jason doesn't go kill her. So she owed him.
And what does Jason want to kill her for? She revived him.
Because he just wants to kill something. You know? He has to kill whoever's left over.
They should team up.
Because Jason
team up. They'd be unstoppable.
They would be unstoppable.
Jason has had to hang out at the bottom of a lake with her dumbass dad for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's her fault. Yeah.
How long was Jason in the lake before this movie? Before this movie?
Supposedly 10 years.
10 years.
So 10 years and then another 10.
Yeah, but
what?
Because he was in the lake before this movie started.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
6 ends with him in the lake,
and then there's 10 more
difference from 6 to 7.
Yeah, just 10 years. Period. 6 ends and 7 begins. He's been in the lake for 10 years. 7 begins with her in the flashback. That's
she's a little girl,
right? But that's not 10 years at that point. It's 10 years, I think, when she's 18 years old or whatever.
All right. Yeah. So that was my question. Like, because Tommy Jarvis or whatever put him in the bottom of the lake with the chain in 6.
Yeah. Right.
And he's obviously hanging out there. For some reason, nobody got his body out.
No, you just leave that there.
And then how much time goes by between that and when the little girl kills her father?
Maybe a couple years. Like let's say
simultaneously, you can't tell, but in the background of that scene, you just see the lake's on fire and Tommy's struggling while her dad is drowning.
All right.
She's just like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah,
apparently the father's still down there as well.
Yeah,
he is.
10 years.
Dino brings this up, and we do mention this, that the sheriff work, as we've discussed prior with Officer Mike Simonetta, and then the guy who got folded in half, is not the best in Forest Green / Crystal Lake, because you're right. Nobody dredged the lake for this guy's body, which was no further than 15 feet down. Honestly, if someone drowns in a lake today,
they rebuilt the dock, but they didn't take the body out.
Exactly. They will dredge forever. They don't even try. They're like, he's down there. Fuck it. It's okay. He'll feed the fish and eventually whatever.
And apparently he never floated to the top. He just
never.
he had a bunch of rocks in his pocket when he went down, and he just kind of stayed.
Is this the dad we're talking about?
Yes.
Because I don't think the dad is in the lake.
The dad,
He's absolutely in the lake. How does he come out of the lake at the end?
I think that's her delusions.
No.
I think she
Not
she
according to-
telekinetically pulls him underwater and just like, she's under so much stress.
Not according to the writer and director of the film.
The writer and director don't know as much as I do.
That's true.
Let's
That's true.
throw our role here.
It's a solid point. That's a solid point.
They'll probably tell you there's only one Jason, so they're objectively wrong on this matter.
And nobody's pregnant.
Nobody's pregnant. Nobody knows nothing.
Yeah.
So
and DP's right. How could they fucking dredge? Jason's not there.
Yeah, there's probably like 7 bodies down there, but they know he's there too, and they're like, "Fuck it, we can't." Now Patrick thinks she's hallucinating too. Now let's talk about that.
I don't think that's her real dad. For one thing, if all these years have passed, why is he still fresh as a daisy?
It's a different dad. There's multiple Tina's dads, which also brings in. I think Chris brought up the fact a few minutes ago that we don't even know if this Crystal Lake is in our universe, so physics might be different, and like the physical laws might be different. So maybe this is like a Earth 2 Tina's dad, which would explain how fresh he is after 10 years, or like whatever it is. So we get this really great fight. She cords him, sucks him up to the ceiling fan, chokes him out, drops him into the basement. She sets him on fucking fire, which is a badass scene. In the basement, she opens the furnace with her mind, blasts him. I don't know if it still is the record, but that was the record Kane Hodder holds for the longest controlled stunt burn in history. I don't know if in the 30 years plus it's been that it might not be anymore, but it was at one point. Oh, wow. He is the fuck on fire. Like, she puts him the fuck up. 40
something seconds, 40 seconds or something.
Yeah, he's walking around there. I'm good for him, man. So we get to the point where they're on the dock again. The fight's coming to an end, and
do not skip over the Michael Bay house. Do not skip over some of the largest home explosion I've ever fucking seen in a movie. And I still cannot, for the life of me, figure out why that house blew up like that.
Yeah, someone earlier.
The house was made of C4. You just didn't know. They lined the walls with C4.
Said it was the biggest half-second house explosion ever. Because
that was crazy. I was just like, wow, what is in that house? Is Jason, has he like just become so explosive from being in the lake for 10? I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Well, we've talked about this. This is so many years after all these other Crystal Lake massacres have happened. Yeah. All houses on Camp Crystal Lake are now just made out of C4. So if Jason ever comes back, you can just easily blow him up.
Everybody, when you move in, they give you a plunger. And they're like, if you ever come under attack, if Jason ever attacks, break this glass, get the plunger, get your family out to safety. One click, this house is going to go the fuck up because it's made of napalm.
You know what else cracked me up? The Jason wore that chain around his neck through the whole movie like he was 1984 Run DMC.
Yeah.
But when she ties the cord around his neck, the first thing he does is like pull it off, and it's like, bitch, you've had a chain around your neck.
You've had a fucking giant chain on your neck for the entire movie. And where did your utility belt go? How have you lost your utility belt, Jason?
He had the utility belt. He was keeping the giant buzzsaw on a stick in there. All his spikes that he was chucking at people. You just don't see him fishing them out of the pockets this time.
That's right.
That's why he has so many different weapons. He just keeps getting them.
Marcellus brings up the dad was frozen in the lake like Steve Rogers. He's the missing piece of the Avengers.
He's in suspended animation.
In the original the Wasp and
he has the Tesseract. He has the Tesseract. That's why he looks so gorgeous.
Yeah. Let's bring up before we get to the father coming back. Let's bring up the face splitting scene and what we've now as these movies have gone along. Now this is obviously the second zombie Jason one, but
Mummy. He's a fucking mummy. John.
Sorry, Mummy Jason. Sorry, Patrick. I apologize. I will get the nomenclature correct for what type of Jason he is. But we get the grill shot, right?
Yeah.
And man,
he looks like Eddie. He looks like the Piece of Mind cover. Iron Maiden Piece of Mind.
Yeah, he does.
He absolutely does. Yeah. He absolutely does. You could tell how old Jason is because you could see the roots of his fucking teeth. The teeth that are left are this long each because his head has receded up to his eyeballs. And he also bleeds green shit. Like when she squeezes his head.
You know what it looked like?
Yeah, it's like yellow pus.
It looked like the custard they were eating in Dead Alive.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's the custard from Dead Alive. Fuck yeah. Woo.
So let's talk about the dad and what we think. And let's ask everybody who's commenting to give us the idea about what happened here. So she sees a vision, possibly, of her long dead father rising through the lake, out of the lake, through the dock, and he pulls Jason to his watery fifth
Grave.
death, whatever you want to call it, watery grave once again. So let's go around. We'll start with the Manster. We'll end with me. We'll go to Larry and then Stu. Manster, do you think, now take into account the fact that he does look as fresh as a fucking daisy?
Beautiful.
Do you think that she pulled the father's body out of the water and used it as a tool? Or do you think that because we've already had scenes of her like kind of with a clairvoyancy or seeing things, that she just pulled him into the water and she sees the dad? Because it's almost like redemption for her. Like, yes, dad, you beat the shit out of mom, and yes, I killed you, but now you're going to do something good for me. You know what I mean? What do you think, Master?
I'll say that makes way more sense that, she sees him. It's not really the father. It's just what she projects. But I choose to believe that it is the father.
I choose to believe. Okay.
I choose to believe.
Yes.
The truth is out there, Lloyd.
Master chooses to believe. Larry, what do you believe?
Well, see, unfortunately, for Stu, I base my belief on what the director said, and that's that they filmed a whole bunch of scenes with Zombie Dad where he looked all jacked up, but the producers hated it, so they went with what you saw, and it was supposed to actually be her father. Yep.
I will agree with you, Larry, except in the documentary I saw, there is a scene where they show the actor who played the father like a zombie, and he's coming out of the thing, but they said that they never even got to film it. So they got the makeup done. They were going to film it that way, and the associate producer, if you watch the documentary about the making of this, the director multiple times goes, my associate producer said this couldn't happen. So you could tell he probably hates this person. The associate producer didn't let us film because I think he said it was a she, thought it looked terrible. So yes, there is a deleted picture of him looking like a zombie, which makes way more sense and would have to me been what an ending would that have been is if he really was like decrepit zombie dad, and then you get this zombie on zombie mummy on mummy fight going on, right? That would have been really rad. So I will say I go along with you guys with you and say I think it's the father. Now let's Stu ruin everything for everybody and say what he thinks.
No, I have something for you because I'm piecing together these movies as we go through it, and I am building the Jason extended universe in my head. I initially thought, what Manster said, like this is just a redemption story. She actually pulled him down and she just envisioned her father. That was her heroic vision. But if you go all the way back to Friday the 13th, part 1, it is possible that this lake is magical and bodies that drown in it do not age. They do not age at all. They do not become waterlogged. They do not.
Yeah, but according to your answers,
baby Jason still came out of that lake at the end of part 1 at the age that he drowned.
But
not
you
all
said
rotted.
that wasn't Jason.
I believe that. I'm just saying there are multiple possibilities. There are multiple realities of the Jason universe. I don't believe that was Jason. But if you want to believe it's Jason, you now have this argument that the lake is magical and Jason didn't age or decompose the entire time he was in the lake. Then he came out, pulled Alice into the water, but let her get away. I don't know. And then he ran off into the woods and then he aged. And then you get Jason in part 2.
Eric seems to agree with you or have his own theory.
See how that works?
Toxic waste that NYC and New York City is dumping into the sewers has made its way into the connected body of water, which we know is connected because in the next movie they take a fucking boat from Crystal Lake to New York City. Crystal Lake, the toxic waste has remarkable preserving qualities. Hey, we already know that this waste can turn 4 ordinary turtles into fucking ninjas, right? So Very possibly.
And Matt Murdock into Daredevil.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Funny you say that. One of the novelizations says the lake is cursed by Native Americans that revive Jason over and over again. This is borderlining into the shitty Halloween 5 druid stuff, Holly. I'm not saying you're wrong. Curse of Thorn, but I it's not terrible. All right, so
these movies are so much smarter than anyone gives them credit for.
I don't think
these movies are brilliant.
You know, I think these movies are enjoyable. I think we have a great time talking about them.
After 8, they've just lost the trail.
I think we're having a good time all along doing this, but I think if these movies have anything that's thrown at them, it's not going to be that they're smarter than anybody thinks. But you know, hey,
they're genius.
That you do you. So
there are so many theories, so many possibilities.
All right, so
I'm going to start writing so much Jason fan fiction. You have no idea.
Oh my god!
My entire website from now on, it's not going to be pop culture news and articles anymore. It's just going to be Jason fan fiction. Fuck it.
Hey, you know what? That was a wonderful segue yet again. I want to bring this up to everybody. If you're watching and you enjoy reading articles all about pop culture and all of that good stuff, go to swoproductions.com. That's I always point the wrong way. That's Stu over there, over that way. And he puts stuff out every. What do you do? Do you every day, or you do every?
Pretty much every day. If I miss a day, then I'll do 2. But yeah, it's pretty much every day. It's an average of 1 a day.
Yeah. And Stu has been on the pint several times. Most recently on the latest episode. If you have not checked it out, please do yourself a favor and check out the latest pint. You can find us on all of the podcatchers: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. All that good stuff, and we talked about the stuff. So if you can't get enough of the stuff after this is all over, or maybe on your commute tomorrow, check out our episode about the stuff. Again, Larry's on that one as well. The man, the 4 of us did that episode together.
That was all of us.
Oh, and I wanted to bring this up because me and Larry talked about this. And so if you have been listening to the Pint podcast, we do the Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. And I had this idea. So we've been doing Pint of Horrors off of the same list, adding movies to it. And we've done 9 episodes, with the 10th episode going to be recorded fairly soon. Poltergeist, which we have not done yet. That'll be the first 10 episodes of Pint of Horrors. And a lot of times these movies will come up in the votes, and some of them just don't get used or whatever. So I know Larry loves lists. So I said to Larry, why don't you come up with a brand new 20 list? For 2021, we're going to start over after the Poltergeist episode with 20 fresh movies.
20 episodes of Little House on the Prairie to choose from.
which mean any of the films that didn't get used from the original list, they're out there, they're done. But if you want to bring them on, if you're going to come on the show as a Pint Movie Invitational or anything like that, you can now use those. And we did 9 episodes. The 10th Poltergeist is going to be done soon. And then we did a video episode of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. So we're going to be taking all those episodes. Larry's going to come back with 20 new movies, and we're going to start 2021.
I say we do one movie for each year.
One movie for each year?
One movie representing each year between 2000 and 2020.
Each year ever? Like
no, one movie from 2001, one movie from 2002.
I see what you're saying.
Etc.
All right, you know what? We'll do that, but that's a good idea. So if Larry could pick 20 movies that go through that, but I still want to do the dice roll. So that way, if something else comes up, we replace it with a movie from that same year.
Same year.
Yep. So there's still a random factor. So Larry, if you could do that when you do your list, one movie from 2000, whatever it would be, from 2001 to 2020, we'll roll. We'll pick the whatever it is, 2001, 2007, blah, blah, blah. That movie will get voted. And then whatever movie gets voted, if it's 2008, you replace it with another 2008 movie. And since you've watched already 70 brand new horror movies this year, I don't think it's going to be hard for you to pick movies from different years.
Not at all.
What is this
Easy,
I see here?
Easy peasy.
What?
What do you see?
I just saw the one with the clown.
Oh, what? Fucking Terrifier or whatever?
Terrifier.
Yeah, piece of shit. Yeah, so in case you guys are wondering why I ran away, Jen and Jalen spotted a giant beetle running across the floor. So.
Oh no!
Oh,
and not
save
like
the family.
Not Paul McCartney either.
Save the family from insects.
Hello, Larry.
Last night there was a big spider. Like that fucker was huge.
Yeah,
I was just sitting here watching TV, and I just saw it fucking running across my carpet. I was like, "Oh hell no, you don't, motherfucker!"
Yeah, my wife and I have an agreement in life. If there are spiders, she sends me in after it, kill the spider, it's fine. If there are wasps or anything, I send her in after it.
Gotcha.
I had one day I came home at the previous house I lived in. I'll try to get through this story. I came home and all of a sudden out of nowhere one day on our garage door was a hornet's nest.
Oh.
And I'm just like,
not cool.
No. And it's the middle of July. It's really hot. I get in my head, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to get a can of bug spray and come back. So I go to the store. I buy this bug spray. In my head, the entire way home, I'm Eye of the Tigering this shit up. I'm like, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to put a hoodie on. I'm going to put long pants on. I'm going to put gloves on. I will be well protected in the middle of
the hospital.
No. In the middle of July, I'm going to do all this shit. I'm going to get home. I'm going to spray these hornets. They're all going to die. My life's going to be better. I get home. I'm pulling into the garage and I look at this nest and I shut the garage door safely behind me. I immediately go upstairs and just give my wife the can. And I'm like, nope, that's not going to happen. You got to save me.
Yeah, you ought to see the nest I had in my ceiling, in the floor joists in the ceiling. Oh, yeah, they came in for years from the outside, burrowed through the siding and right in the house. We found it when we did a renovation.
5 or 6 years ago.
Huge nest.
I never knew this even existed. 5 or 6 years ago, me and Lindsay were out in the backyard doing like weed whacking and gardening and stuff. And we're hitting this area of a little bit overgrown lawn and straightening it up. And I got the weed whacker out. And all of a sudden, she ow! Like, and I'm like, what's wrong? By the time the word wrong comes out of my mouth, I feel like my stomach getting shot like 3 times.
Nope.
Did you guys know that ground hornets exist?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. We got fucking stung multiple times by ground hornets as we're running inside the house trying to get our dog. There's ground hornets fucking coming out of the ground. It was scarier than this fucking movie. Yeah. That's for sure.
Did you
you need the house from this movie?
Did you do the
Chris nuke the shit?
Did you do the Chris Farley like Tommy Boy? Bees! Oh my god!
You're stinging crazy. All right, so we were talking about what we do on Pint of Horrors. Check that out. Please check out the latest pint. But let's get back into the last section of these episodes, and let us talk about favorite kill time kids. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I don't have to spend too much time on this.
Yeah, this is going to be a sweep.
ZZ Top said it best. Sleep inside my sleeping bag, and then Jason's going to slam you into the tree as many times as he can. Patrick had mentioned it, and I do agree. Although we still have a few left, I think it's very possible that this is the best kill in the entire series.
Yeah.
It's great. It's so violent. It's so bone crunching.
The one that you and I kind of alluded to but didn't flat out mention from Jason X, I think is the only thing that gives it competition across the whole series.
Yeah. And honestly, that one could only happen in Jason X too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So when we get to that one, if you don't know what we're talking about, I think some of you might, but that one's great. But in terms of like something that could actually happen, you're gonna when you watch Jason X. So Larry, do you agree? Sleeping bag?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially with as much as they bastardized the rest of the kills. Maybe if they had, not cut the shit out of them, there would be some competition. But as they are in the film, nothing comes close to the sleeping bag.
All right. I think we know Stu says the same thing. Manster's the only wild card. Manster, what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I said it earlier when I didn't realize you had a section of favorite kills at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. So
if you had just watched the show that you're supposed to be a part of, you would have known.
No, I never made it to the end.
Never make it to the end.
Well, I don't blame you. I don't know how I'd make it to the end. All right. So let's go now to the other part. Now, anybody out there want to say what their favorite kill is? No one's jumping in on this one because I think nobody wants to just say sleeping bag. I think it's unanimous. No, they're still there. They're just not saying sleeping bag because it's obvious.
Yeah.
But I do want to hear from everybody on this if we can. Let's rate this thing again. Pint rating rules apply. 0 to 5. Holly concurs. Quarter scale is acceptable. Stu, real quick, I definitely want to kind of get an idea of. We don't have to go through all of them again, but what did we give 6?
6. I gave a 4.25.
Jesus Christ!
I love 6. It's so good. Larry gave it a 1.25 because Larry is objectively wrong, and joining him on the wrong train was John with a 1.5.
Yeah.
I will say Patrick just mentioned it. Honorable mention for the
5 from me.
You give 6 a 3.25.
Yes.
All right,
Six-
we'll
no,
add you.
I will edit that in.
He means 6 or 7. Which one are you
6.
giving? Oh, okay. You give
He's
6 a
retroactively
3.25.
grading 7 or 6. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right.
I will say Patrick commented honorable mention for the party horn. That was the only other kill I even wrote down as being somewhat noteworthy.
It squeaked.
Yeah,
it
that's why.
made the noise
Yeah.
when he put it in, which I
I didn't
fucking
realize she
point.
had lungs in her eye socket, but
Doesn't
apparently.
matter. Doesn't matter. Points for the noise.
There's
100%.
air inside the eyeball.
Yeah.
Holly
Yeah.
gives this one a 4. All right, so Holly gives 7 a 4. Chris gives it a 3. Anybody else out there? Let's start with the newbie. Manster, you came in swinging. You hated this movie, but I think as we talked about it, I think you started saying I might watch this again tomorrow. I don't know if that's true. What would you give
because
in
of the
operating
final
scale?
because of the final 15 to 20 minutes and the face of Jason and some of the effects, I will give it a 1.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
I think
All
that's
right.
the lowest score yet from any of us for any Jason.
I couldn't stand watching hardly any moment of this movie.
Yeah.
All right, our buddy Brian 4 due to the final battle and the sleeping bag kill. My buddy Joe he gives it a 2. Part 7 is the first one he saw in theaters. Marcellus
okay.
from the great podcast
Oh.
So Wizard 1.5.
All right,
This is
Marcellus.
trash. Patrick, who's one of the regulars on the movie nights, I give this a 3, but just barely. So we got a 1 from the Manster. I'll go second. I gave the last one a 1.5. You said, right? Thinking back on that, that's a quarter point too many. Going into this, and especially talking to Larry, and we were kind of trash talking it and comparing it comparatively to the rest, but thinking about how much I do like the last battle scene, the whatever you want to call it, really does bring me into it, but overall pretty weak. What Stu, real quick, what is the second lowest grade I've given anything? Just give me the second lowest grade.
Lowest grade from John has been a 2.25 for part 4.
This grade almost is entirely based on the last 20 minutes. This gets a 1.75.
Wow.
Yeah, 175.
Right.
Too
Man,
high.
So
Too high.
let's go to Stu, because I kind of want, I don't want to end it on your 5, right? Because I have a feeling
No, it's not a 5. I don't grade this one as highly as 6. My problem-
It's a 6.
My problem with this movie is I was watching it, and for the first 40 minutes, I legitimately was thinking like, God, I was really wrong in thinking this was one of the good ones. For the first 40 minutes, this is like a 1.5 at best. This is everything bad I said about part 4, the bad editing, all the irrelevant, stupid characters I don't care about, just terrible acting from everyone across the board. And for the first 40 minutes of this movie, I was like, this isn't going to break a 2. This isn't even going to get close. But then it just gets so good. And I love the wackiness of Kane Hodder Jason, because like he's so much more nimble than a Jason we're used to. And there's a scene where he's behind a tree and he comes out like this. And I was like, all right, Jason, that's awesome. The scene where he falls into the basement, he's laying there and he has like the broken leg where his leg is like twisted up off to the side of him. It's like, all right, that's cool. So all in all, this goes from like a 1.5 to it ends at like a 4.5. I'll give it a 3.25.
Oh, okay.
3.25 for the total movie.
Okay, all right.
I just mean like the last 40 minutes are like a solid 4.5. They're great, but you have to weigh it against how bad it starts.
Holly says that makeup and stunts elevate it, and that's true.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Patrick
makeup is good in this one.
Patrick says harsh graders here. We have been accused of that on Pine Comics. We had Paul from the Countdown Movie Podcast, an Australian podcast. He's a great guy. We did 1917, and he kind of can be a harsh grader. And he had listened to a bunch of our shows prior to see like what he thought we would say, and he's like, "You guys are the only ones that might be harsher on." Because
Yeah, he was afraid of what we would say.
I think the thing that we do on our show a lot, and I think it's fair grading, is we'll talk about the good stuff and the bad stuff in a movie, and sometimes maybe it might sound like the good stuff is starting to overweigh the bad stuff. So like, yeah, I love this scene, and that was great when Tina threw Jason through a window, and oh my God, it was so exciting. I give it a 2 You know, like we kind of
you
do that.
sounded so excited for the stuff that you loved about this, and then you're like, 1.75. Fuck you. You liked it a lot more than that.
No, because that's all I liked about it. Because everything else,
you really liked it. But you really liked it.
But it was the problem is
trying to convince you, John. Stay strong.
It ain't gonna work. No, it's not gonna work. He's not gonna use his fucking Tina powers on me.
Yeah, 3.25 for me.
Joe
I
always
think it goes
on a
way
curve.
up.
On a curve. Okay.
Oh, you know, and this is true, Holly. This will happen when you guys finish the series. I want to hear what order you'd rate these. So
I already have an article about that on my site.
He does.
I released it on Friday the 13th. I didn't want to wait till the end of this series.
It was a hard read once you realized that 6 was in the top 5. Larry, what do you give a New Blood? The New Blood. Some New Blood. Somebody's blood.
Somebody's blood.
Some censored blood.
So we've had a long discussion here. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. I think we pretty much all admit that every character is a raging asshole, which doesn't help a film. It doesn't help a film when you've got nobody to root for other than the killer.
Yeah,
I think Patrick said it earlier. Once you're rooting for the killer, it's no longer a viable horror film. This is just now. It's just like something you do when you go have some beers and you smoke a joint and you go watch the new Friday the 13th. Because it's going to be fucking funny. And that's really what these are. We're now at a point where these are not scary at all anymore. These are just funny movies. And like I said, when you can't put a character in there that you can actually root for, like I call that the Rob Zombie disease. Like the guy cannot write a fucking character that anybody likes. Like every character he writes is a piece of shit. So why root for them? It's the same thing with this movie. Like everybody's a fucking asshole. Even the ones that you're supposed to be your hero. Nick is the only one who's not really an asshole, and he's just annoying. Tina's an asshole. Like
the doctor, even he's the biggest piece of shit of
all the doctor's a piece of shit. I guess mom is okay, but I can't get past the hair. You know, so I can't see her personality through the hair.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But again, you know, like Holly said, stunts, makeup, special effects, great. I really wish this was released with the kills the way that Buechler filmed them, because I would have a much higher opinion of the movie just for the effects. I mean, he's an effects guy. Of course, he's going to make a movie with great effects. That's his fucking job. The finale of this movie, you know, Tina versus Jason is great. It's fun. It's, you know, if you're not going to have a movie that's scary, at least make it fun. And they made that part fun.
You are really building up the score, Larry.
I'm trying to.
Is why I give it a -26.
I really love that Nick does laundry. Rob Zombie's Friday the 13th has a strip club on the lake, which features Sherry fucking Moon as the featured stripper, of course.
In Rob Zombie's Friday the 13th, Sherry Moon plays every female character.
And of course, she kills Jason at the end. Yeah, because why wouldn't she? I also did like how in this, Jason got headbutted by a head in a planter. Did you notice that?
She lifts it up and fucking telekinetically tosses at him, and the planter doesn't hit him. The head hits him.
Yeah. I rewound it like 6 times because I haven't, and Stu, I don't think I said this. I haven't seen this since it was released on VHS.
Oh wow! Okay,
that's the last time I've seen it. So. You got to figure this probably came out in VHS in '89. That's the last time I've seen it. 8 I've seen a couple times. So once we get into that, but as you know, Goes to Hell I've never seen. So you know,
I am so excited for you to see that one.
I'm sure you are.
It's a thing.
I'm sure it is a thing. I've heard it's a thing, which is why I've never watched it. So let's get down to a rating. I went back to a previous episode and wrote down what my ratings were since I'm rating them against each other, kind of. And I started out pretty high. I gave 2 a 5. 2 is a perfect 5 for me. Wow. But based on 6 being a 1.25, I think this is much better than 6, but not anywhere near 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to go 2.5.
Wow.
I will double 6. I think this doubles 6. I think 6 was a tremendous wreck.
Yeah,
I know,
6 sucks.
I know people love it.
I don't understand. Makes me so sad.
It's
In
a
my
train
heart,
wreck
it
of a
makes me
film.
sad.
Because they tried to be funny at all the wrong times, and it was just such a mess. At least this Beekler tried to do something different, and he had a pretty good idea. They didn't really let him execute on all of it, but this was actually going somewhere. The humor that was injected worked. Kane Hodder, as much shit as I give the guy for different reasons, he's the best Jason. He really is. The guy plays the character the best. See, some are bigger, some are this, some are that, but Kane's really the best at the role, and he proves it right off the bat in this. Even CJ Graham said after watching it, like, yeah, Kane did a great job, even though CJ Graham wanted to be Jason again. Makeup, effects, this is double 6 for me, so I'll stick with 2.5.
All right, so the Pint of Comics guys don't even get out of the ones.
Nope.
Stu and Larry are a little bit more friendly to this. So the next episode, I figure we're in December now. It's going to get busy with everybody with holidays, but I'd like to get 8 out maybe in a couple weeks, and then we'll start the new year fresh and
let's do it tomorrow.
9.
Let's just do it tomorrow.
Okay. So we'll come up with a date and time, put it out there. We're going to all go to Manhattan together. Manster, are you going to come with Manhattan with us?
Maybe I'll go to Manhattan.
All right, come to Manhattan. You had a good time. You did well. It's been great. Now, again, I want to go through everybody real quick while we're all still here.
Master, you need to bring your pink flying V, though.
Yes.
Right,
you can't get on the boat without your pink flying V.
Absolutely not. If you want to check Larry out, again, go to www.connecticutcultclassics.com. You can find all of his multiple podcast appearances, shows he did with us, Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. All those episodes 1 through 9 are up right now. Poltergeist will be coming at you pretty soon. And then we'll start the new year with the new list.
With season 2. Let's just call it season 2.
We'll call it season 2. We'll call it season 2. And then horrornewsnetwork.net is where you can find his musings and writings. If you want to find Stu, you can find him at SWO Productions. And he's on our show every once in a while, and we always have a good time. If you want to find us, again, go to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You can go and look us up on all the podcatchers. I don't suggest you go to our website because our website sucks, but that's just the way it is. We're hoping to work on that. Holly's gonna come to Manhattan with us, that's for sure. So check all that out. Check out the latest Pint, which is out right now, and again, it is about The Stuff. And probably Friday, our top 5 80s albums later this week. That is it. I'm listening to it. It is a good one, and we discuss on that episode that we are going to be doing a sequel episode, top 5 90s albums. So we'll do that in the new year, and that'll be something to come out.
Oh shit!
Yeah. In Vogue all day.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it.
So that's our.
I feel like you should have my wife on the best 90s album show.
I've seen your Spotify lists, and I don't know, man.
I saw a part today, and I X'd out. I didn't even leave the page. I X'd out of Facebook. I just closed Facebook.
I just had to delete the app.
Right down.
I just deleted the app. I'm done with it.
I got rid of my Spotify. I was like, fuck this. How do I unsubscribe? How do I get out of here?
I read it on my Facebook, and then I was at my house in Crystal Lake. I smashed the glass and grabbed the plunger, and I walked out front and blew the house up with the thing inside there.
I've sworn off music altogether. I'm never listening to music again.
Probably for the best.
All right, so this has been Pint of Comics, where our Fridays episodes. These have been fun. Coming at you soon, part 8, and then in the new year we'll go 9 through the rest, and it's been great. So guys, thanks a lot. Everybody that tunes in every week to the show or shows up here every time, we really do appreciate it a lot. I can't say that enough. It's great talking to you guys and getting your opinions and talking about these crazy fucking movies. So until next time, Manster, do it.
See ya.